Ron, you've been very generous with your time, and this has been a great conversation for me. I feel like I've had a chance to rant a little bit and listen to you and gain some additional perspective.
I'm a big ranter myself. Yeah.
So the thing that, and you look at it, I think, through a slightly different lens, because a lot of your clients are end users, homeowners, and not that you don't do business with investors, but your real focus is, I think, looking after those first-time home buyers, next-time home buyers, et cetera.
Home buyers, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and whereas for me, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, how do we create a financial future given what's going on in the world today? I'm a big believer in real estate and remain that in Canada. I believe that through this uncertainty, this confusion, and all of the chaos that seems to be going on lives opportunity. You have to be strategic. You have to be smart. You can't rush. Don't force the river. There are deals to be had in the industry, and they're hard to find. And I often share with investors, I said, if you're looking for gold and diamonds and platinum and all the rest of it, you don't just walk down the beach picking it up. You got to dig for it. You got to blow shit up. You got to try and find it, because to your earlier point is that there is always a motivated vendor. There's always somebody that has a problem that needs to be solved. And this is not to say to swoop down and take advantage of anybody, because I don't believe in that. What I do believe is that there are win-win scenarios that get created by people that find themselves in circumstances that maybe beyond their control. Everything from fired to job transfers to divorces to deaths to all things that happen. I got to get the hell out of this. If you can come in and approach it from a problem-solving place, win-win situation, investors do have opportunities. And I look at what's going on in the world. I mean, gosh, we never even talked about what's going on, Russia, China, Ukraine, Europe, UK. I mean, we have a global issue that seems to be unfolding. And I'm looking at it and going, okay, how do I secure my financial future? And as much as I might look at precious metals and cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, I look at real estate. I always come back to that foundation of real estate. I believe in it. And the good news around all of it is, in all of this clusterfuckery that's going on, I think there's opportunity. And that's kind of how I look at it. And I know that when I hear and speak with guys like you, it does leave me hope in that we do have some great leaders, and we do have some perspective that sometimes we get so in the rabbit hole of listening to our politicians that I go, there is no hope. And then I can have a conversation with somebody like yourself, and I go, yeah, no, there is hope. I see that, you look through a little different lens than I do, only little, but you have a kind of a glass half full view of the world, although you don't think it's easy. And I appreciate that.
It's not easy. The stuff we're talking about is not easy. We've gone down too many wrong roads in this country for a while now. The idea that you would know that you need to build more housing and then observe the fact you're building less should create an absolute panic in all levels of government, which we do not see. So we're going to have to come up with some kind of visionary. I'll tell you this much. Some of the people in charge of the politics on the conservative side want to promote housing as the biggest issue in the coming, whatever the next federal election is. And all I can tell you is I sure as hell hope they do. I sure as hell hope they spend all their time thinking about shaping a truthful policy, not a fake policy, because you got to remember, I don't think Trudeau's a lizard person, but we have to agree that in 2015, he said he was going to build more new homes. The reality is, he's been saying that in every election, and it's never happened any of the times. So just the fact that there might be somebody come in who can take a fresh start and say, you know what, we got a lot of crown land, I got a lot of federal land, we're going to start to convert it to residential zoning today. Today, we're going to do it. I mean, I'm going to take office, it's the first bill we're going to put through, that we're going to arrange to penalize municipalities and provinces that don't cut red tape by stopping federal fund transfers, which the provinces and the municipalities need. So
I agree.
Somebody would take a very aggressive stance to say, enough is enough. we're going to change this stuff now. We are going to root out the crazy NIMBYism that's going to go to the Supreme Court of a province about cutting down trees. We're going to eliminate that. We're going to find the way to do it because it's doable. We can get people in who are devoted to the cause, and I think it's possible. I don't think it's impossible. If we can get people who believe that there really is a crisis, if more people arrive than they have ever before, double ever before in the past, and that we will not have places for them to lay their heads. Because let's face it, you talked about the students, you talked about temporary workers. There's houses in this city, not more than 10 minutes away from where I'm sitting in the city of Toronto, where there's students living 8 to a basement, and their only means of subdividing the basement is a curtain where they sleep. So it's literally the worst kind of third world poverty for $800 a sleeping space. I mean, if you wonder how people can have $1.8 million houses in the outskirts of Toronto, if you got 8 people sleeping in your basement paying $800 a head, you're going to be able to find a way to survive that. But it's the wrong way. We shouldn't have that in Canada. We need to take action, and we need to make sure that there's something better shows up quickly.
Beautifully. Well said.